Yeah. The intersection. Yeah, thanks. The intersection of Thomas and River.
Okay.
Might be a little muddy.
Yeah.
It's not.
River up.
It's coming. Yeah. Stony Creek's up high enough where you can kayak.
Somebody out by my house. That's before.
Yeah.
Right.
You get it fixed?
Yeah.
You ready? Are we ready? Good evening all. Welcome to the town board meeting, May 6th, 2025. Salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Councilwoman here, Councilman Hanlon,
Here.
Councilman Niles.
Yeah.
Supervisor Molina.
Here. All right, the first part of our meeting, we're going to turn it over to Barbara Mitchell. She's the senior center coordinator and her able-bodied assistant over there. They're going to show us a slide. Shouldn't be about 5 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Well, we'll give you 5.
But you're not allowed to read any notes. You have to look at this. It's very dear to
It's
me.
very interesting. I looked at it this morning.
Okay.
All right, that's just give you an idea of what we do there every day, 5 days a week with these two ladies running it. And we get great turnouts on when we have programs like bands or some kind of operation that they do, and they have murder mysteries, and I can't be anymore because I've been killed twice, 2 years. So, but that's what goes on down here. There's lunches down there every day. We have a good crowd, 25, 30. And it's really well used by the seniors, and now that the summer's coming, a lot of the summer people come in and we're open from 8 o'clock till 4, 5 days a week. So I'll let Barbara finish the talk now. Go ahead.
Thanks. First of all, I invited Lisa to come with me because, as you know, no, you don't do anything by yourself, and you do have to have a group of people that you can really trust. And in our world downstairs with Steve and Lisa, we're quite the team down there. We come up with some pretty harebrained ideas. But Lisa works for Office of the Aging. We partner with Office of the Aging so that we can provide programs that are like these murder mysteries, Christmas parties. And we are very fortunate to have the size of facility that we have, because we can fit 120 people comfortably down there. But we are an approved kitchen through the health department, so we have to follow all the rules. Anyway, 2025 is our 15th anniversary of the senior center. And when you look back and you think of all the things that we've done, we've accomplished a lot. And I just wanted to share some of the things that we have and highlight those. One is the transportation. We have been using a van that the town provided for us to go on trips. We go out of state, in state. And I have to say that Ron has had to come and pull me out of a very deep snowbank that somehow I got into, and thank heavens no one was with me and I was by myself, because I wouldn't even drive the van anymore after that. But so thank you, Ron. And then we have also have a disaster center downstairs where it has been used. And we've had a lady from Stony Creek that was brought by ambulance to the senior center there was no electricity in senior center in Stony Creek. So she came here and she hung with us for the day, and that was kind of fun. So that was one thing. Another thing that we have done is have Hudson Headwaters mobile unit. I am not speaking for them. I'm just telling you a little bit that it started off really slow with having patients. It was a neat idea to have the mobile unit because we are considered a rural community, and it has blossomed, and they were only coming the first and third Thursday of the month. Now they will be coming with a new unit that they're purchased, and it will be here every Thursday of all the time. So it does take us a while in our community to like grab hold, but once we grab hold, we're there.
Which it already did, right? Like
It's-
they've been busy.
Yeah, so it started out really slow, maybe 1 or 2 patients. We don't make money with 1 or 2 patients, but Hudson Headwaters is committed to hang in there with us. And now they are full 8 to 15 patients a day. So they are going to come and do a presentation, but I just wanted to say that, yes, they are coming, and it will be every Thursday. So woo to all of us for thinking this is a neat opportunity. And then I just wanted to go over some of the numbers that we have, which is really exciting. So we have 3,224 attendees that come to our center for special luncheons or events. That's just people from our community. They're attendees, so they come often. They'll come for games and stay for lunch. They'll come for programs in the morning, stay for lunch, and stay for the afternoon. So that's been really encouraging when you think about how many people live in our community. We have 3,224 attendees, so we don't get to all the seniors, but if we find out there's somebody that needs a service that we could provide down there, we're right there to support them. We have on-the-go transportation, which we did 23 round trips. which was 176 individuals that were able to participate in that. The biggest one, which is more Lisa than me, but we pinch hit, we pinch hit for each other. There was in total 11,310 meals prepared last year downstairs, which when you think of it is awesome. And of that, 6,540 meals were enjoyed at our senior center at $3. Now, folks, where can you get a roast beef dinner, real mashed potatoes, because I hate
Yeah,
fake
more.
veggies and a salad and dessert. So for $3, we tell all the seniors, our economy's not being nice to us right now. So if you know of anyone out there that's a senior 62 and over, we have menus, so please, encourage them to come and see us. That's just what I wanted to do and just go over some of the highlights that we have. We do know that we don't meet all of the needs of the seniors in our community. We know that transportation, our van is tied to me. I have a CDL and bus drivers can drive it, but they have to be employed by our town to be able to drive it. So that's the transportation being a barrier. So I work 30 hours a week and don't do any doctor's appointments. Now, a local church has volunteered if there was someone that needed help that's from our town that needed to come to see Hudson Headwaters. They are when they're here on Thursdays, more than willing, but we haven't needed that yet. And then senior housing would, as we all know, be a big help, but that's not possible right now. So anyway, just as our 15th year anniversary, I thought you would be interested to know how well we've done. Oh, we do plan to have a 15th anniversary party too. Yes, in July, and we're going to have an open house with Hudson Headwaters with a new mobile unit. Because
Jean's evil little elves downstairs are
Yeah.
planning.
Well,
yes,
it's gonna be our 15th anniversary birthday party, whatever, but we're having luncheon and we're having it open to the public. And we hope people come down and see us. We also have invitations out. One person who did a lot to get us $450,000 for our senior center was Kirsten Gillibrand. The offer is out to her to come spend a couple hours with us that day, if she can make it. I haven't heard back yet, but because she did get the town $450,000 to help us supply that senior center. It was really good. So, anything else? Any questions?
Fantastic.
no, thank you.
And
And
you gotta go to the shows. I mean, I know we all work, but some of the shows that they put on there and the musicals are hilarious and a lot of fun, but I will not be shot anymore. It was 2 years in a row I was shot dead. I was in the murder mystery.
We had to remind
Yes,
you. So just that.
I have to find another sucker to do that now. No, they do a great job and
Yeah,
they're
we
easy
do.
to work with.
Online or
And
it is online, but I'll really make sure that,
good stuff.
yeah. I will just say, and this is on a very funny note, but we've had to learn in the 15 years that we've done this, and we've done it together. The three things we've learned, and they're funny things. One is the Lake Luzerne Senior Center is not a dating service. So that was a tough one. The other thing was, well, we're not a day program. So that was another, oh, okay, now we're in too far here. And the last was, we are not a healthcare facility, but we are here to have a good time and we can really pull a party off. So, but those were things that were I never thought I'd have to think about those things. So, anyway,
Like the dating service.
yes.
And we're greatly appreciated. I know I'll speak for the whole board, but they can speak for themselves. You guys do a great job. And Barbara knows how to handle me, especially when she comes up to my office and closes the doors.
Oh, great.
But she always says, the way she handles, she sits down and says, I'd like to, is it possible that we can do A or B or C or D? I said, Barbara, no problem. She says, good, I already did it. So that's how she.
It would have changed if it was a no.
But we're proud of the senior center, just like we're proud of this whole building, and a lot of work went into it. And thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
I want to say one thing before you go. I attended one of the murder mystery dinners. And they did such a good job, and the people that were supposed to die,
Yes.
get killed off, did such a good job. This one gentleman I was sitting next to, he was murdered. A lady across didn't see the murder happen, but he dropped face and plate, and she thought he was really dead. So I had to calm her down. She's, hey, hit him, hit him. So you have very good actors. I just want to say that, and it was really enjoyable. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I was really impressed by what was going
A
on.
lot of
So,
people don't know what to expect when they walk in and they see all the decorations that we go through and we do and the time we spend, and it's definitely awesome to see everybody's reactions, and then just to hear them laugh at the things that we managed to pull off.
I will say that we are very fortunate. We have people that come from Queensbury if they find out we're doing different things. Hudson Falls, the whole senior center closed to come to the murder mystery. I think it's one you were at. So, I mean, that's pretty neat to have that. But it takes a whole team to pull that off too.
And you gotta see the decorations. I mean, we have most phenomenal decorating people, the tablecloths, the glasses, the way everything's laid out. When you walk in that room getting ready for a concert or just lunch itself, it's really done well.
Thank you.
you.
You're the envy of the county, I will tell you that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Perfect.
That's what we
Thank
were
you.
trying for.
All right, now we're moving to some serious work here. Eric Danmore? Just speak into the thing, tell us who you are, and so we all know.
Sure thing. Eric Sandblom from SRA Engineers, representing Adirondack Industries for the development of the Evergreen Estates subdivision. This is a project that was actually approved by the town back in 2009, and then it wasn't fully built, and the records, well, the Department of Health approval expired, and there were some other things that we had to modify and kind of bring it back to life recently. So the owners hired us to look at a few tweaks to the subdivision. It's really all as it was originally envisioned as far as the lots themselves. We made some changes to the road design and to the stormwater design. We actually did present this to this board about last year. I think it was maybe mid-year in July or something like that, where we're just, we're hoping that there can be consideration for the town to take over this subdivision road after it's constructed. And my recollection is it was fairly well received, but wanted to get the input from the highway superintendent, and also a few other things that have happened since then. Namely, once the seeker was completed and it was sent to DEC, DEC said, "Hey, there's wetlands here," so we kind of had to take a step back and get some wetland permits. So those are now in hand. It resulted in a minor change to, I didn't even bring my plan up here, but I handed out reduced size drawings. And if you look on page 3, I think it is, you can see the site plan, and you'll see that there's a little jog in the road right, as it connects in with Call Street. And that was a result of this whole wetland thing. We had to avoid the wetlands. It wouldn't be my choice to design a road that way, but it is safe and it would still work. And it's still in the exact same spot that it was originally designed for, as far as evaluating the site distances and things like that. We've received some comments from Ron on the road design. We wanted to make sure that it was the right width. And then just at the meeting here, I don't remember talking about this before, but as far as with the road section design. And I guess, Ron, I just want to confirm that you're not asking for the road to be any different from the town subdivision design standards?
No,
Okay.
I haven't looked at the plans in a while, but we just gotta correct that depth
Yep.
with the binder in the top.
Yeah, but not to make it any more than what the town standards indicate would be the section.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll confirm that, and we'll make sure that it does meet that standard.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, Gene asked me to keep this to 5 minutes, so I was trying to be concise here, and I can't remember if I do recognize some faces here, so I think maybe some of you might have remembered seeing this in the past. If there's any other questions, and what we're formally requesting is that the board consider signing a letter of intent that the town does have the intent at this point, based on how everything is, to take over the road after it's built. The project. Oh, sorry, yes, and the stormwater infrastructure, which is essentially ditches and 2 infiltration basins. The project has received final subdivision approval from the planning board with some conditions. One of those conditions is obtaining Department of Health approval, and the Department of Health approval is contingent on getting a letter of intent from the town on the taking over of the road.
And the one thing that I'm gonna stress,
Mhm.
you know what we spoke about it. Because around any town, not just ours, or watching the people on YouTube, sometimes the word doesn't get out the way it should. Like tomorrow morning or the next day, it's out of whack. And the one point I want to emphasize,
Mhm.
we're taking the road over when it's completely finished. We have no investment into the road except maintaining it after you get it completely finished. So that's what he's asking for here. And I'm trying to just simplify so nobody thinks. We had one a couple of months ago, also around town. We were paying $380,000 to build a road. We're not.
No,
You guys
the
are building. the road.
developers are paying. Yep.
When it's done.
Exactly. In fact, another condition of the planning board is that a bond be provided to the town, so that in case, for whatever reason, it's not built to spec, that the town has that bond that it can utilize to ensure that that work gets done, and it won't be taxpayer money at all.
Do you know the duration of that off the top of your head?
I don't. I'm not an expert in bonds, but
How long does the guarantee run?
till the project's accepted by the town, then the bond would be returned to the developer.
Okay.
So what would happen is it would be constructed, there'd be some level of inspection, perhaps, a site walk with Ron or whomever from the town. And once the town says, okay, this is built as promised, and then the bond is given back to the developer, and it essentially becomes town right away.
The way we had it set up was that Mr. Sandblum was going to come up with a bond amount. Our town engineer was going to review that and make sure that it was adequate. And then we would accept it at that point, but it will be reviewed by the town engineer to make sure that it's adequate.
Okay.
Yeah, and that process is still,
Cedarwood, Jonathan Silcup.
yeah, and that whole process is in process.
But he did the inspection, right?
I would assume that he
Yeah.
would do the inspections. He's been doing all of the review of
Yeah.
it already. And Ron works hand in hand with him quite frequently anyway.
Karen, the letter or the intent is that we would give letter of intent that's non-binding, correct?
No, if for some reason something happens, it's just a letter of intent. So I had drafted one. It's very similar to the one that we just did on the other subdivision, and it simply is addressed to Mr. Sandblum at this point regarding Evergreen Estates. The town has reviewed the plans for the proposed Evergreen Estates subdivision. It is the intent of the town of Lake Luzerne to take ownership of and to maintain the proposed roadways, rights of way, any easements granted to the town in stormwater management upon their satisfactory construction in accordance with all applicable town specifications and standards. And then it's to be signed by Jean if you do approve this tonight.
You have any questions? Good. This is our attorney,
Yeah, so it's not binding, you're not accepting the roads yet, it is just a letter of intent to do so. In addition to having the engineer sign off for the town before acceptance, the town highway superintendent, we would also as council make sure that it's title and everything is acceptable before we accepted the road.
He would be taking over ownership.
Again, you're not doing that
Yeah.
tonight.
No.
This is
I know.
just.
Yeah, I just don't want to start down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Have you seen the letter Karen just read to us?
I have.
Anybody else?
Should divide that with 10.
Second.
And authorize.
Excuse me,
Yes.
I believe Mr. Kiersgaard wanted to say something.
I just have a question regarding the bond.
Please state your name so people out that are out.
Yeah, my name is Paul Piersgard from Guards and Properties. I'm the owner of the property. So I realize the, what the bond is set up for. Is there any way we can forego the bond if we complete the project and there's no issuance of permits for building until the road is finished?
I don't think we should answer that right now, because sometimes there's actually town code specifications about what's required as far as a bond or letter of credit. And I haven't reviewed that,
Okay.
so you can certainly address that with the town at a later time, but I don't know when we're right now.
It would also change the condition that we granted final approval as well.
Because it was a condition in the approval, yeah,
Correct.
so we'd have to look at all that to see if they're, you know, what the requirements for the bond are and what ability there is to.
All right. I mean, the whole thing, we're gonna give you a resolution that we will take over the road after total completion. And everybody, we intend to, and everybody signs off on the road.
That's what we're asking for tonight. Yep.
That's what you got here. That's what we're asking for.
Dane made a motion, I think.
All right, Dane, you made a motion on that?
Yeah.
Second,
Some
got a
second.
second?
The resolution is the town intends to take over the road after completion. In stormwater management. Stormwater management. And there was something else.
Authorizing the
Easements.
supervisor to sign the letter.
I don't know if you have easements in there, I don't know about verbiage, but.
You can say the order of technical design.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None carried.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, makes it complete. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
You bet. Have a good
Keep
night.
an eye on you while you're working.
Take care.
All right, I'm gonna open the floor to the public. If there's any questions on all the resolutions that we have that is up on that sheet, that somebody might want to ask a question about it. If not, you know, anybody have anything to speak of? All right, so now we're moving to the resolutions. And this we are deputy clerk.
Proposed resolution to pay the bills of the eighth abstract of 2025 as presented. General fund vouchers 4869 to 4935. 126,382.67. Highway fund vouchers 4936 to 4962. 69,387.18. SW1 district water district fund vouchers 4963 to 497, $4,284.38, and SW2 water district voucher 4972 for $30.
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to accept the minutes of March 4th.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to authorize Supervisor Molino to enter into and execute the 2025 occupancy tax spending plan for municipalities and authorizing agreements for tourism, promotion, and tourist and convention development services.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Possible resolution allowing for the improvement to the safety and sustainability of River Road by amending the town's existing parking ordinance to include the following. No parking permitted on either side of River Road from Thomas Road intersection north to the town line parking lot. And on the east side of River Road from Thomas Road intersection south for 300 yards.
I'm gonna just jump in here because we're not actually approving the code change right now. I thought what was on for tonight was setting the public hearing on the amendment.
yeah.
We have to go through the local law process. on this.
Yep.
So we do have a resolution to set the public hearing. that I believe the board has all received.
So we tabling this, right?
Yes.
That'll be for, you have the next meeting.
The date we hearing Tuesday, June 3rd at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes. We also have the notice for completion.
Any other questions on it?
So, are we gonna do a resolution
Yeah.
to set the public hearing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, yes.
For June 3rd.
So are we just gonna add it to this verbiage here?
Yes, and we've got the full written resolution.
Okay,
And the notice.
But we're tabling the part that I just read. That's.
okay.
You cannot do
We
that
can't do that
until.
part.
Okay.
I got, do you want to read the resolution that we think we want to go ahead with?
Resolution setting public hearing on amendment to the ordinance for regulating parking in the town of Lake Luzerne, New York. Whereas the town of Lake Luzerne wishes to adopt amendments to the ordinance for regulation of parking. And whereas adding a paragraph to section 1, which reads, no vehicle shall be parked or left standing on either side of River Road in the town of Lake Luzerne from the Thomas Road intersection north until the Warrensburg town line and on the east side of River Road from Thomas Road intersection south 300 yards. And whereas this amendment is authorized by New York State town law, and whereas the New York State town law requires the town board to hold a public hearing before adoption of such amendment, now therefore be it resolved that the Lake Luzerne Town Board shall meet and hold a public hearing at the Town Hall, 539 Lake Avenue, Lake Luzerne, New York, at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025, to consider proposed amendments to the ordinance for regulating parking in the town of Lake Luzerne and may take any other action authorized by law concerning these proposed amendments, and be it further resolved that the Lake Luzerne Town Board authorizes and directs the town clerk to publish and post a notice of public hearing concerning the proposed amendment in the manner provided by law, duly adopted this 6th day of May 2025 by the following vote.
I'll make that motion.
Before we make, can I interchange? And the one thing the board knows, we've had meetings with DEC about this property down by the river. And this is a lot that they're suggesting to maintain good traffic safety and not so much crowding that people can't get around, so.
But the buses, you have the buses unload up in the parking lot, no parking down from north of intersection north, no buses, anybody can park there, right?
That's the way it is.
All right, they're gonna unload in the parking lot.
Yeah, they're gonna unload and
Okay.
park in it.
Get them off that corner and get them up.
Right. Yeah, we've been meeting with DEC because there's always been a lot of problems with traffic and it gets very busy in July and August. So this is just to help, not to take away anything, parking spaces, but we got to keep, it's a narrow road. And I think this will solve a lot of the problems we've had over.
This,
As you go
just so
ahead.
Tim understands. This resolution doesn't address what buses can do or not do anything. All this is a no parking sign. A general no parking sign.
It's for all vehicles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, general, all traffic, including all commercial traffic and personal vehicles, okay.
DEC wanted some teeth in some of this so they could, you know,
Yes,
Take it.
exactly.
problems.
Oh, yeah, because that corner is a problem. Been a problem forever.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second.
On this, I would recuse myself.
Councilman Morton,
I'd recuse myself.
Councilman Mann,
Yes.
Councilman Hanlon.
Yep, yes. Sorry.
Councilman Niles,
Yes.
Supervisor Molina.
Yes.
The proposed resolution to enter into an agreement with Warren County Soil and Water as it pertains to lake testing at a cost of $2,000.
I'll make that motion. This is to do the same test we did last year for the perimeter of the lake. Field work is done by interns and water testing is done by Adirondack Community College. Basically, it tests for 4 chemicals, which are typically indicative of sewage.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to provide occupancy tax funds in the amount of $7,500 to the Adirondack Folk School.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to provide occupancy tax funds in the amount of $4,035 to the Lake Luzerne Regional Chamber of Commerce.
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to provide occupancy tax funds in the amount of $6,500 to the Lake Luzerne Heritage District Ambassador Program.
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. I think I need to bring that a little bit further. Colleen also said that the ambassadors, they want to raise them $5 from $20 a day to $25 a day. That man these are different historical sites and stuff.
Yeah, but that would be within the 6,500, right?
Yes,
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
yes, it was.
That was a question.
No, it was.
Yeah, okay.
I should have brought it up. I didn't have it on here. I didn't think of it. Yeah, they just want to get a $5 raise as they sit there. And they do a good job talking to the people that come in and, selling our town and the beauty in it. And so it's well worth money. And it's occupant tax money, and that's what it's.
What'd they get last year?
20, I think.
No, I mean the total.
Oh, I don't know. We kept it in within budget, just like this.
Okay.
Proposed resolution
I
to
think it was
provide
six.
occupancy tax
Six,
funds in the amount of $5,000 to the Hadley Luzerne Booster Club.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Like to call a roll call for that, please?
Councilman Morton,
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Councilwoman McMahon,
Recuse.
Councilman Hanlon,
Yes.
Councilman Niles.
Yes.
Supervisor Molino.
Yes.
Proposed resolution to provide occupancy tax funds in the amount of $4,000 to the Hadley Luzerne Historical Society.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to set SW2, which is the Hudson Grove Water District billing rate at $700. There's no increase from last year. With the option to pay a minimum of $350 by June 30th without penalty and make payments on the remaining balance through October 15th. After which time any unpaid balances will be re-levied onto the 2026 town and county tax bill. Now, this is the same way we did it last year to help that district because of the large increase.
And it worked, right?
Worked well.
It
Yeah.
worked well. We didn't have, I think we had one complaint.
Good.
So,
I'll make that motion.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried. A proposed resolution to receive RFPs as it pertains to the Lake Luzerne Smart Growth Zoning Code update and to be accepted in the town clerk's office by, and you have to set that date.
Okay, little bit of explanation. This is a grant that we got. Well, probably over a year ago now. The request for proposal was written by Tracy and our CPA chairman, Matt Palich. It was reviewed by Amanda Wild of the New York State Department of State, which is the grantor. They're giving us the money. On 11/5/24, it was sent to Mary and she looked it up, and today she sent me an email saying the RFP is fine.
And I think the resolution is technically to publish the request for proposal.
Right.
Then proposals.
Right. You can add that if I made the motion and I'm fine with that addition.
We gotta get a second.
Second it.
I'm sorry, who made,
I made the motion, Dane seconded
Do we need the date first?
I do need a date.
for the return of the proposals.
get a month to the next meeting.
When are you gonna get them out?
Well, I'll put it this way. Tomorrow I'm here half a day. I leave Thursday for vacation. So
So what are you off? One day?
a thousand things to do in that time frame. Just trying to.
Matt, while she's working on that, how long do you think we should give the potential respondents to put the proposal together?
Okay.
90 days, so.
For the record, the 90-day comment was from Matt Palace, our zoning board chairman.
First meeting,
Is that 90 days, 3 months?
that's only 60 days.
60 days.
You can give them up to 90, you're saying,
Yeah,
you wanna go?
60.
I don't-
Up to you. but-
I would be inclined to go with the 90 suggestion.
Everybody agree with that? 90 days, good. All right,
So
we'll make it
the
90
August,
days.
right.
It'll be the August 5th meeting. So do we wanna make that though, so that they're in by Friday the 1st?
Yeah, in time to
Can get them ready for you.
logged and all that, yeah.
August.
We have like a 3-year timeframe for the grant, right?
Year timeframe, but even though we only just recently got the official approval of the grant, the start date is September of last year.
Okay. So
If you
9 months of that,
sent us, I think it's like 9/24/24 is
yeah,
when the 3 years starts.
okay, so that gives us over 2 years. We should be all right.
Yeah, it should be all right, but we don't want to go much more than
For
that.
that amount of money, it won't be 2 years worth of work.
Okay. So we'll leave it to the date, August 1st.
So we have a first and second, all in favor, opposed, hearing none carried. Proposed resolution to increase Steve Bury's hourly rate for water purification to $40 an hour retroactive to the completion of his grade 2B and C certification course on April the 11th.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried.
Publicly, congratulations to Steve for passing that class.
And then discussion on the wilderness property management feasibility report.
I'm gonna leave that at the councilman. Morton, you want to give a little,
Sure.
just of that report?
Yeah, so we got the recreation assessment report back from Wilderness Property Management. I met with Steve of it, who runs Wilderness Property Management, and we walked the property together, and he spent 2 or 3 days up there, kind of mapping out trails and things like that. I just wanted to discuss a couple of the highlights of the report, some things that he had in here. One of the things that he said is that the trails developed in Lake Luzerne watershed trail system could easily provide novice, intermediate, and advanced level riding experiences. He also highlighted the fact that this would be a year-round attraction, not just a summertime mountain bike attraction. So they could use what they call fat bikes, which are the bikes with the wide tires. A similar thing to snowmobiles where you would need, 6 to 8 inches of snow. And then people would be able to take their fat bikes up there and ride around on the trails throughout the winter. They could also utilize snowshoeing as well. And that's a good way to pack down the trail system for the fat bikes. So there's a number of different uses that could be, that the trails could be used for. He did highlight the fact that the entire site has been logged, In his opinion, it would be 25 to 30 years into the future before there is any potential for large scale logging again. Even with this timeline, the trail corridors identified would work reasonably with forest practices. So I know that was a concern that was brought up, was the income that we're receiving from the logging on those pieces of property up there. I talked to him in detail about that, and there's other municipalities that have these trail systems that also log on their properties. And as long as it's done responsibly, both can coexist without problem. So we wouldn't be losing any revenue there. Any other potential for the property. Couple other things, ground disturbance would be minimal. These trails, are usually, about 4 feet in width, so they're not going to be disturbing much ground up there. Another concern that was brought up was maintenance. So maintenance, the majority of maintenance for these trail systems is done by volunteers, and it requires low skill. It can be completed with hand tools and bushwhackers. Little chainsaw maintenance will be needed once the trails are actually complete, which is nice. There's local volunteer organizations that do this, such as the Upper Hudson Trails Alliance, which is the local non-for-profit that works on northern Warren County trail systems. They've been instrumental in the development of mountain bike trails in the towns of Johnsburg, Chester, and Horicon, all of which have been wildly successful. And they've stated an interest in developing a chapter of local riders to support the Lake Luzerne Trail System, which I think was pretty cool. Cost estimates for a system like this for non-publicly funded projects, it's generally between $7.50 to $10 per foot of trail. Publicly funded projects, because you have to use prevailing wages and all that, 30 to 35% more than the private projects. So it is it's not couple $1,000s, it's a couple $100,000 project. The good news is I've been in contact with the county planner, and there's a lot of grant money that's kind of flowing around, 90-10 grants and things like that they're looking into, that are potential funding sources for a project like this. So the next steps are kind of what he outlined, is to sort out any secondary interests in the Lake Luzerne community, to clarify how the future final planning aspects and phases will be developed, determine if permitting or additional planning is necessary, do final planning and permitting over the winter, this coming winter, so that design and layout and construction work can move forward in 2026, 2027. Now that's in an ideal situation, and it also depends on what grant funding could be available. And he suggested focusing on the implementation of trail phases 1 through 3, design and build the online trail system. So I guess the next step, and what I think should be the next step, and I wanted the board's opinion on this, would be to set up a committee similar to the committee that was set up for the playground. I'd like to bring in local writers who would be interested, potential volunteers to do the maintenance on the trails, and also get in touch with the people of the Upper Hudson Trails Alliance, and see kind of what their interest is, and they could probably help with the next steps beyond that. So I don't know if a committee needs to be authorized by the board, but I would like to set up a committee for that to at least keep the ball rolling, so it doesn't get put on the back burner. Because I do think it would be a positive.
We need a resolution, just a yes. You don't think it'll work? Okay, they put in the means of a resolution.
For setting
Set
up,
up
for setting up the committee.
yeah, committee.
Yeah.
Make that resolution.
Does anybody have an opinion?
Did you,
Go ahead.
does this interfere with the snowmobilers at all?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Does it interfere with the snowmobilers, the snowmobile?
The trail, if you look at the map, it doesn't actually.
How's the proposing of the existence to coexist with deer hunters during hunting season? What's gonna happen there? That big question right there, public lands.
Yeah, town property, town property, you're allowed to hunt. I don't know, I'm not a hunter, so,
Back
yeah,
there, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Might wanna do a rifle season, might wanna do a part where you're gonna have to let the hunters use it too. Let bullets fly around with riders, it's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, that's something,
They're gonna see a hunter and then there's gonna be a cop, it just, there has to be some sort of understanding that deer hunters use the woods too, and that's a very good hunting, very popular hunting spot.
Good point.
Very popular hunting spot up.
and I think that that's the kind of stuff I want to look into further with the
Yeah.
committee, you know, because I know the town owns over 1,000 acres, I believe, up there. And this is a 100-acre parcel of that, but it does go up against state land and things like that. So
Yeah, you have a hunting clubs up and you have one hunting club up in there, I'm not sure, it's up, I forget the name of it, it's up in there, they hunt up in there.
yeah,
It's a very, very hunted place. So that has to be discussed too.
Might
Safety
be a little-
concerns for riders and then the fair opportunity for hunters to enjoy the land too. When rifle season's open or hunting season, there has to be consideration for that. I mean, public land's open 24/7, 365.
Do they turkey hunt out
Oh, yeah,
there
they
as
do.
well?
Oh, yeah,
Because that's gonna extend the season time.
I don't know. We got lead flying in the woods, so.
I agree
Now
with
have
you.
riders going through the woods,
Concern, I'm just saying that it may not just be rifle season, it may
Yeah.
be for other seasons as well.
Outdoor enthusiasts, could be
Yeah.
anything, could be. I
We
don't know.
have to find a
Thinking
way
of-
to
Yeah.
work together somehow with it.
I mean, you very well can't tell a hunter, you can't hunt in that land, it's public land. Well, why? Because the bikers use, well, I've been hunting up there my whole life and now I can't, so. You're gonna have big issues with that. And then people are gonna be up there using the land. Who don't understand hunting and the outdoor culture and that aspect, and there's gonna be a conflict there, as we've had with the boat on the river. Navigation laws, DEC said there's fair navigation, but there's people up there who don't think they have fair navigation, and they're verbally assaulting and people going after them, yelling at them. I don't wanna see that happen in our woods. And then have someone sit there, yeah, but he fired a shot in my direction, well. Now we're in trouble, now we got someone out there who's a deer hunter. Who has to defend where his bullet went.
yeah, I mean,
Once I let go of the bullet on a rifle and I deer hunt, I let go of that round. It left my barrel. I'm responsible for that round from the time it leaves that barrel to when it hits. And if it hits a human being, which I don't see riding through the woods through early, you have all your earlier seasons or in the woods and I hit him, I'm responsible for that now.
yeah, it's no different than all the people that walk up there now through that trail system.
That's some trail system. I'm saying you're putting trails into the woods where you're putting mountain bikers into a hunting field. Into a hunting zone.
Mhm.
You're gonna have false accusations made. Because they don't like hunters, so we'll just, lose a little lawfare on them, or.
Well, I mean,
You're gonna have people butting heads on this.
I think that's an assumption, but it's something I want to
It's going to,
explore.
trust me.
Further, you know, for sure.
There's a heavy anti-deer hunting culture out there that's gonna, and. I mean, I understand the cultures of hiking, there's the hiking culture and all that, and I'm a hunter. And they exist in two different worlds. Unfortunately, this one says there, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna get into it. But there is friction and there will be friction on this, I will guarantee you that. You're gonna have, we have to, as a town, figure out fair, 100% fair, not what politically is fair to one side. You know what I mean? We just have to be very fair about it. Think about this long and clear. Like I said, when a bullet leaves the barrel of a gun, that hunter is responsible for it. And then, but putting people into that situation just increases it a lot worse.
So I'm curious, Tim, what would you consider to be?
I don't know.
Okay.
Private land was one place you have things like this where it's posted and there's no hunting, where there's like if you had 1,000 acres and you wanted to do it.
So if you have 1,000 acres and 900 of the acres go to hunters and 100 go to hikers and bikers. Well, I'm just asking.
Public land.
Well, it goes to hikers and bikers too, because it's public land. So my question is to you is what would be fair for the 900 to go to hunters?
Since the hunters are there first. Well, the hunters are there first during hunting season. It's been going on for thousands of years, hunting season. They're there first hunting, and then all of a sudden, New Year's will show up and said, you gotta get out of here. You can't use this, but it's public land. Well, we see different than that. Well, that's a new idea, and that's where the friction is gonna come in. I have landowners, friends of mine that have bought land. It's true story, multiple times. Hey, sir, this posted land, you can't hunt here. You're not gonna post this land, I've been hunting here my whole life.
And you would talk about almost fist flying. The guy did not understand that's private land and he had problems like that. This is you get hunting zone, you're gonna have friction. Just, you have to be ready for that.
Well, I mean, that's why I want to set up the committee and get input from.
And as a hunter,
steps.
And as a hunter, I am, and I hike and everything, I'm partial to looking out for their interests.
Mhm.
And I just think we need to think long and hard about this. I mean, how do you just can't tell hunters they can't hunt in the woods?
I think we're at that point.
Okay, but it's gonna come to that point.
You know, I'm asking as a committee so that we can discuss all aspects of it.
So I just want to speak my mind right now and put it out there for however long the committee takes or how long this takes to work out. I like to see it work out, but I'm just being the thorn in the bush and saying, hey, this is gonna problem. As a hunter and as an outdoor enthusiast, I see both sides of the world. This will be a problem. We need to be ready for that and how decide how we're gonna deal with this.
I have two comments. You also.
Yep, go ahead.
I have two comments. The Matt Simpson's office sent us a letter back in March, notifying us that there's a grant opportunities out there. New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, Municipal Parks and Recreation Grant Program had a window to submit a grant application March 19 to May 2nd. So I'll talk about that when it's my turn. Down here further, it says in total, there's 20 million available, 10 million will be spent this year. So I think the implication is there that there'll be another 10 million to spend next year. I talked to the county planner, Ethan Gaddy, and to senior planner, David Nelson there. And he felt that this type of project that Dane's talking about is a perfect fit for this grant program. They are competitive. It doesn't mean we would get it for sure, but I think it's something to keep in the back of your mind. If we do get a grant like that, typically they require a committee anyways. And in the past, the projects that I've run here, we did set up a committee.
This current season would definitely, I mean, but you're gonna have a season for everything. We don't have southern zone in that area, right? So that's gonna cut it out in, when is it? November?
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
On that though, great.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would like to make a motion to set up a committee to explore this.
Second that.
So we'll do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none carried.
The
Discussion on the ordinance as it pertains to the.
littering and garbage.
All right, we had a major problem today. We found 40 bags of garbage on one of our roads.
Mhm.
We do have an ordinance in town specifying littering and things like that. It's set at $250. I think we should move it to 400. And we should order some signs put out in certain areas like that, no littering. And if people get caught, and I think the ones that, I'm not sure, I know the Rangers came in today and found some names in the bag, so they're gonna be investigating it a little bit. But I think we should have a little harder ordinance on that kind of littering. And if you came down 9N today, in the Lake George part of 9N, there's that turn off. It doesn't go in, it's just wide
Yeah, it's
there.
all the stuff in there.
There's a whole pile of beds, mattresses and stuff like that in there. So it's getting to a point, people just. And I don't think we're unreasonable in our landfill, and we have, you can come there. It's only 8 cents a pound. You put 100 pounds in, it's $8. I don't think that's, but I would like to suggest something that we can, maybe a hardship reasoning that can help people out instead of throwing it on the side of the road. Because it costs us more money to have the guys pick it up,
Right.
At $25 an hour, than dropping a couple of pennies to get rid of it. And, do it that way. But it's something to think of. It don't have to be done today. But it looks like it's getting, talking to Kevin Gallery today, Supervisor Warrenberg. Most of the towns don't have this problem, especially if you have a lot of, like, we have a lot of vacant land up there. And the edges of town, makes it easy for somebody to come in and dump a lot of stuff at 9 o'clock at night, especially on a Sunday night when there's not too many people on the road. So I think if we can it's not, might not help a lot, but if we up the price of littering, and if we do catch people, it'll be a substantial fine, because it can go by the pound. So.
Procedurally, if we want to increase the fine for littering, we would set up a public hearing.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So that's why I'd like to we'll talk about, do it on the June 2nd meeting or whatever that meeting is.
At which point what you do would be set a public hearing.
Third, yeah.
So it'll be
I think we
at
said-
least 2 months before you get anything done.
So if you don't mind, we'll do a public hearing on the June 3rd.
Yeah, well, I think we'll set the public hearing.
We have one here. We did one already. Oh, no, that was just setting the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to put some language together.
All right, why don't we do that? And as long as we can get it done, and we'll vote on doing it. And we'll have it for the June 3rd meeting.
I don't think you'll be able to.
No, okay.
So I don't know if you're getting anything together. So what we can have is the proposed language for the June 3rd meeting.
Okay,
And
sounds
we can
good.
set the public hearing.
All right.
Okay.
Is that agreeable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll do that. Do it that way. And I'm also like permission, let's let our road superintendent get some no littering signs. Because we're gonna need some down on the River Road.
River Road.
Just one request, can we make them the brown and yellow Adirondack looking ones?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
low
yeah.
crews, just enough to,
And put a couple around town. We don't have any, I don't think, no littering signs, so that we'll start bringing that to the public attention. So I'll get with you, I'll get with you, Ron, on that, and we'll take care of that. Okay, what the last, there's one more here, Tracy. You're gonna,
You want me to read that?
yeah, read that. We just came in 8:30 last night. You want me to explain it? Okay.
For Chris Belden as a potential consultant to be used for the town's grant administration and be a grant writer. And you wanted to ask him to attend the May 20th, 4 o'clock meeting.
Right.
To meet him and.
Yeah, she recommends him. She's retiring.
Okay.
So she's recommending him. I know him a little bit through the county. I'll call him and see if they can do our agenda meeting. and we can put
He
up-
is presently the zoning officer for the town of Bolton.
What's that?
He is presently the zoning officer for the
yeah.
town of Bolton.
Right. So we're gonna need somebody to do grants for us or continue on some of the grants that we have, because it's always a lot of paperwork.
Right.
And most of us don't have the time to really do that. If we have somebody, we'll talk to him in 2 weeks, see what kind of money he's looking for, or give us some opinions on it, and then we can move from there to the following.
Do you have a conceptual opinion about hiring another town's CEO as a potential consultant?
Any
Do it.
question?
Yeah,
Okay, everybody okay with that? We'll bring them at the agenda meeting.
yes, that's fine.
So, Jean, do you contact Tracy?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to email her tomorrow?
Well, you can email it, but I'm gonna call him.
Well, if you're gonna do it, then I don't need to do it.
All right. I'll call her. That looks like the whole to do here. Good job.
To reports.
All right, reports. Highway superintendent.
First and foremost, I wanted to thank the town board for the approval of some pieces of equipment that we got. We had the hot box, a boom lift and a new pickup. That boom lift worked excellent for us out on the roads doing the brush. Excellent. If anybody wants to come over and look at that hot box, that's over at the garage. In Fourth Lake area here, I have a pretty extensive water issue. I turned the water on for these few camps, summer camps, and I had a huge leak. We didn't find it until the next morning, had to shut the line off. I gotta replace like 50 feet of. I swear to God that it's drain line that they used as water line. Oh, it was split all over the place.
Interesting.
Thank God it's only for our summer camps and everything, but that's what we're working on tomorrow. And then after that, we're working on Ralph Road from Bellinger Drive to Sherman Road. We got 5 or 6 culverts to change, and that's gonna be the first road that I skim and overlay. And then I have a few other ones that I'm hoping to get to up on Highland, Lady Slipper, Fenway. Other than that, the other water project I have down on Rose Avenue, I got 4 residents that have very low pressure. They have water, but they can't flush the toilet and wash their hands. That's how much it drops off. I believe it's iron pipe and it's all just built up on the inside. So I'm waiting for product to come in and get that, and then we can start that project. All right, that's all I have.
Good, thank you, Ron.
Yep.
Zoning,
you all have received the zoning report that got mailed out, and everything else has been taken care of. Evergreen Estates and the zoning ordinance update information. Matt Pallet is here. He's the one that's kind of heading up this. Matt, do you have anything you wanted to add regarding that at all?
I don't think so. We need to issue the RFP, wait for the quotes to come in. I know Jim established a committee about a year ago. I don't know if people remember they're still on the committee, but it might be nice to send out a little ticker saying, hey, we actually, the grant has been approved, we might actually have a meeting sometime. But I mean, realistically, I don't see any real reason to have a meeting until we actually find out that we're gonna get some proposals. Like my major concern is still that we don't have the funding required to get anybody to bid on this.
Yeah, we'll see how the RFP goes. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
no questions? Okay, Deputy Clerk. Lori,
I gave you our monthly report. The SW2 water bills, now that you've set the rate, will be mailed out on the 16th of May. It gives them a little extra time to take care of that. And we will be starting meter reading approximately May 22nd. When I get back from vacation, I'll get that all set up, and the guys want to start a couple weeks earlier than normal again. So they're really pushing me to let them start like now, but you really can't do that because that district is a July 1st through June 30 billing district. And it's always been actually where they started meetings the beginning of June, so it already cuts a little bit off. It's still a 12-month cycle when you do it every year like that, but we can't continue to keep making it sooner because it will mess everything up and people will start complaining because your meter reading date is on your bill. And people read that and they say, oh, now we're, people will think they're losing water usage for the same rate. I just feel that might happen. So I don't want to let them go any sooner than that. So if they ever come to you guys, that's why I'm saying this and asking, there's reasons why we can't do it. Okay. And that's all I got.
Lori, have a good vacation. You're in it. All right, Councilman Morton.
I just wanted to say that I started to take a look at the employee handbook to see if there's any areas we could update. Not the funnest job in the world, but hopefully by next meeting. Some updates.
Take a little look at, we can start working on that. So if in effect for the first of next year.
That's all I've got.
Councilwoman McMahon?
I just wanted to go back. About a year ago, we did ask about, the miles per hour on by the school. And I did get in touch with Kevin, down at Warren County, and right now he's on vacation, but there's still no word. Everything is in through the state and it does take time. Nothing came back yet, but we didn't forget about that. I do know we have a few people that's been calling, asking, are we dropping the ball on that? And no, we're not dropping the ball on that. Also, thank you, Ron, about Ralph Road. That was another question that I did have, and that's very helpful. I appreciate that. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Handle?
Nothing to report.
Nothing. Councilman Niles?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna talk about the chlorinator thing that Clay wants to buy?
God, open, hold the
Oh, wait a minute, that should have been on the resolution.
You want a minute? I got it right here if you want me to do it.
Hold on. You didn't put it on? Yeah, I just got this, yeah, okay,
All right, I'll do it then.
make that resolution.
Okay.
You got all the.
I got that email.
Bills that he did.
He's
We
got
picked
three
a
bids. He's got three bids.
We picked the $6,000 one,
Our
cheapest one. He said it'd be fine to use.
procurement policy requires over 5,000 to get three bids. There's one case where the cheapest one is the one he wants. What this gizmo is it'd be installed in a system that measures the chlorine content of the water and automatically reports it to our automatic dialer. So if chlorine runs too high or too low, it starts dialing to people like Clay and so on down the line. Department of Health wants this thing. So if everybody's comfortable with it, I'll make a motion to proceed with the procurement of that TI sales CL2 monitor.
High sales.
TI's tire.
Second,
I had it on my first.
$6,147.
Come out on the second agenda. I had it for now. Yeah, Clay, it's.
We have the budget for it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody
He
wants-
picked it up when he
seconded.
said the cheaper one would work just as good as those expensive ones. I talked to him Sunday and we talked to him this morning, so the one he wants runs $6,147.34.
no, weird, because he said in this letter, we really had no choice, he was running out of parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, they
locking
get-
systems in jails, you have to change the whole thing with the parts break.
Can't get
Everything else, they don't have any parts.
So we need a resolution for that.
I made the
I
motion.
seconded it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Okay, our next meeting, May 20th, if it's okay with everybody, I'm gonna invite Cedarwood Engineering to come in and talk to us about the water system grant and what his approach is that he thinks we should follow to get that going.
That's on our agenda meeting.
Yeah. Brief playground update, we're up to like 210,000 in funding. We have a meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. if anybody'd like to stop by. As I said briefly before, Matt Simpson made us aware of a grant that kind of had our name written on it, so we worked with the counties. One of the chief planners, Dave Nelson, Friday, we submitted a grant application for $130,000 for additional funding for the playground. The justification, the scope is adding a couple more features to it. And also to get us over the hump, he called it. In other words, if we have cost overruns, which are probably going to happen because the quote's 2 years old, it'd be nice to have that extra funding if we can get it. By no means is it a shoo-in. So just so the board knows, that application did go in Friday. It's due Friday. Didn't cost us anything. The county planning department put it together. Dane and I and Mike Panich supplied the information. That does have a 10% match, by the way. So if we get that grant for 130 grand, we're going to have to put 13 into it. But in all likelihood, the money we've already raised will be able to be considered part of that match. I don't know what to do about the Northwoods Dam Tax District. I got a call from Rose. Well, I bumped into her at the water conference last weekend. She was wondering where it's at, and I don't know. I don't even know who to ask where it's at.
Mary's got that.
Ask Mary. All right,
That's-
I'll do that then, okay?
Yeah, she's supposed to finish that up.
Okay, kind of a little bit more playground. We got a check from Cloud Splitter came in. My last thing. We got to do the street lights. I know.
Yes, we
Yeah, I'm
got-
getting comments about that. A lot of people are coming. I was like, I know, we're on it. All right, comments.
They're using it, they're using a better light. Some of the new ones that they are putting in along our town, they are a lot brighter. When we get the list, they told me we gotta get the list.
If you
Sometimes we try to do it, either it's snowed or it's cold or
Yeah,
now it's coming.
if you're all right with it,
Mhm.
I'll see if one of Rick's guys, maybe Brian, will go with me and we'll do it at night.
Yeah, you gotta do it at night, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But the idea what we started with, one guy driving, one guy jumping out, put a red dot on the pole and then come back the next day, and get the pole number off of it. That's what we have to submit
are
to.
you all right with me asking Rick for a man and
That's no problem. Yeah.
he and I will take it off your hands?
Okay,
So, okay?
finish it this.
I know. If they only got halfway done and then they didn't like the way we did it, so. That's it.
It's
For
a
me.
dangerous job because you gotta do it at night. So you make sure that
Yeah.
you don't have a deal with a lot of blinking lights and. Maybe Ron, do you have a sign that we could put like at the beginning of a order 9N? Put the traffic.
Well, what we did last time, we brought one of your
Big blinking light on top of all the town vehicles.
cigarette lights,
Turn that
put it
thing.
on top of that little car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Which unfortunately you gotta do it when the lights go on.
yeah.
At
a
night.
sign, aren't you jumping road to road?
Now, we're gonna try to do 9N first and then move into some of the side streets.
I would just use that thing. Your light.
I'll come to
Yeah.
you, we'll figure it out. And again, don't forget the playground meeting tomorrow at 6.
All right,
I'm done.
you're done. So
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Attorney, will you have any comments on our meeting and
2 cents in what I needed to.
we were gonna raise it to a nickel if we did a little more. We have a substitute, attorneys did a good job, couple of good
Thanks.
questions, appreciate it. Mary couldn't come tonight. All right, I just have a couple small little things. The fish hatchery's having that, sing ring at the fish hatchery on Saturday. It's great if you have kids of, 4 to 12, 14, they enjoy it. They have fishing poles. They help them fish in the pond there. And they have a lot of things to use. It goes on, starts at 9 a.m. and that's May 10th. And we got a meeting with DEC, which we all know about. And then another thing to the fishermen, you'd be interested in this, Mr. Hannon. The lake got put,
I shoot.
you got 1,000 rainbow trouts put in about 2 weeks ago. Finally the water got warm enough for it. It usually goes in before, but they had to wait a week or so. We have 1,000 rainbow trouts that went in and they had a surplus of 460 more. And we took them, well, we got that added on. That's about the only thing, but we got to get on this littering. It's starting to be a real problem, not only with us. I've talked to other supervisors, people just, and I think, I don't know who I was talking to today. I'm one of those kind of people, it's 8 cents a pound, but if somebody just can't afford 8, and we take 6 just to get better than out on the back roads, because it costs us $25 an hour to pick it up,
Just have to be,
so, but we gotta watch it, but.
you gotta, but, yeah, you do that. So you gotta, I don't know, you're 6 and you're 5, because I like you more. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we gotta do something to help people.
I'm responsible for
Somebody
garbage.
brought up to me a long time ago, and we have some
Garbage.
properties where garbage is piling up. If we maybe could take applications, have some criteria to let them dump it for nothing. I know it's
The
big.
dumpster, there was the dumpster on Davin Drive.
Jeep took care of that.
It was taken care of, yeah.
Okay.
It was only, one people living there, they didn't put the stuff in the dumpster, they had it outside on the ground. And that was their complaint.
They have a maintenance person on site, living on site. And when I got there Monday morning, everything was taken care of. I contacted the owner there. And they told me they have a maintenance person there on site and that was not acceptable to the owners. They were going to send out an email to all of the tenants telling them that the garbage had to go in the dumpster, not beside it. So they acted on it immediately and they said that if we have any further problem to contact them and they'll take care of it immediately.
One quick question, garbage. There's a place on Call Street. Has that
Yes,
been dealt with?
that is done. We sent a violation notice. They eventually got a dumpster and it has been cleaned up. We just sent them a notice today that we no longer feel that they are in violation.
Is there a residence on River Road you've had any? reports on?
That I can talk to you about that. I think it's going to get resolved, but let me talk to you about that. I am aware of that and have sent a couple of letters and I have some action on that going.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And how about Main Street?
Main Street, we are today, I'm not sure if it got sent out today, the two main big buildings, that letter went in today's mail, registered mail, regular mail by the attorney.
That's the Cunningham.
And the other one that is on Bay that we're having an issue with, we are working on that. We're trying to locate the owner.
I'm glad the letters went to the buildings in town, across from the market, because you in the back, they're coming in, they're going in.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get killed.
Mary sent those out today.
It's not good. It's a safety hazard, no.
And just one more comment. I'm not trying to bring a problem up in town. We have two state-owned facilities in our town, which have been basically empty for the last couple of years. And I called the state, I got word that each one of them has one person in there and the person's a pedophile. But they guarantee me there's 3 8-hour shifts. People watching the one person.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the state's doing. So they're not there alone, because they get people calling that they're hearing there's there. We can't stop it, but the gentleman I talked to from the state says the facility they were in up north had to be condemned for asbestos. It would take about 3 to 6 months to fix it. And that's all I got. But there are somebody in there, 3 8-hour shifts to watch one person.
Was somebody required to notify those neighbors?
Well, that's what I complained. You know, we got
Not the
no,
words of the
we got
state?
no
Are they
notification.
words of the state?
Huh?
I don't think not. They're words of the state. And we transfer inmates who are pedophiles to prisons. We don't know, like 40N, we wouldn't, Comstock wouldn't notify 40N, hey, we got 4 more pedophiles.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's where it comes into play. If there's words of the state or care about the state, I think there's some sort of medical.
Well, that's one of my.
Yeah,
I
probably.
didn't get. We didn't
That'd be
get
something
notified
you
before
could look
the
into
people
for us.
started. So,
I'm just asking our attorney if she could look into whether or not we're supposed to be notified. These people are not locked up, they're not shackled.
No.
They move freely.
Yes,
I'm just wondering if somebody was required to notify the neighbors or whatever.
Again, it goes back to the whole legally, can you?
Yeah.
Different
all right,
laws.
I will open it to, you got nobody else have anything else?
No.
Don't fall asleep on me then.
I'm here.
Open to the public, anybody got, yes, come on up.
Brent from Lake Luzerne. You guys were talking about the bike trails. And I just want to talk about that real quick because it's been going on for a while, the conversation. I just wanted to ask a couple questions about what was talked about tonight. Hunting, I'm not familiar with how it works either, but it came up earlier in conversation. That's why I came in here, just to kind of try and straighten some things out. Like, how does that work in terms of the trails? I understand.
I don't know.
what you're saying.
Tell me.
How does it work?
That's
in
my
town?
question.
How does it work in town? Are people allowed to hunt on town land?
Sure they are. Taxpayers.
As
So,
long as they have a license.
so hunters have permission to hunt in that area off of Reservoir Road. All of that 1,000 acres, hunters can hunt on that town land?
Yep,
Okay, but people aren't allowed to hike.
that's called smarts. I wouldn't know if I'd ride a bike through the woods and hunters are shooting all over the place. I don't know.
That wasn't my
Or
question.
black vests or
People aren't
something.
allowed to hike. People are allowed to hunt in there, but people are not allowed to hike in there.
You can hike anytime you want. It's town land.
No, see, you were wrong about that according to him before.
No,
You can hike anywhere you want,
You
town
can
land.
No, that's
Yes,
not
it's town land.
Vehicles in there.
Public land, you can hike on it.
You can.
town land. People can hike off of Reservoir Road currently. They can
Right.
go up off of Reservoir Road
Mhm.
and hike and bike.
Yes, town land.
All right, that's not what you said before.
Well, that's the way it is.
Okay,
Well, what are we talking about, like, four wheels and stuff also?
no,
Can't
we're
have
not.
any
We're
of that.
talking
Hiking,
about
walking.
hiking and biking, and Tim had said before that you were allowed to, and you said no,
No, you can't. It's
because of
public land.
liability reasons.
Yeah,
It's
well,
on, it's on film. I mean, it's on tape.
It doesn't matter. It's, I can walk, you can hike, you can go up there tonight and hike all you want.
That's
Knock
what you said
yourself out.
before. That's what you said before.
And that's what I'm
about
saying
2
now.
Years ago, and you said no. So just.
I mean, that's what we're saying now. You wanna split hairs? Well, so every time you come in here,
It's
you do
not
this.
splitting hairs.
Every time you do this, you come in
Having
here and you got a
people-
hair to split with somebody.
Yeah, I'm hair splitting. You said
Yeah,
that people weren't allowed.
is, what's I or the S and is? I mean, what are we talking?
Are you sure people are allowed to
if
hike
the
up there?
board wants it, I have no problem with it.
They're
Can you-
taxpayers.
Can you vote on that or something to make?
No, they're
it clear?
taxpayers. They pay for the land. They own it.
So people can now drive up Reservoir Road and park. And go and hike and bike up there
Mhm.
on the trails that are up there.
But-
Anywhere
But
on the
there's
town.
also those trails are, on private properties there through this whole section.
No, I'm talking about the
And
town.
if we get any problems,
Because
people
we
complaining.
cleared up with the attorney that the easement was, the town was allowed to use it for recreation purposes, and I'm assuming that's what the hunters used to get up in there. Is that your interpretation? They use reservoir?
I go up the road. I've lived here my whole life. I mean,
And you
since
go right up-
1967, that's where I go up there and
the
hunt.
road, and
Yes.
you're saying that that's, anybody in town is allowed to do
It's
this?
public land, right?
Okay, okay.
So what's your point? What's your point?
No, I'm excited because that wasn't what you said before.
Well, a lot of it was that watershed property. We're trying to keep people off. of. But now it's, the board wants to open it, it's open.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, anything else on this end? Anything out in,
Yeah.
Lawrence, Guitari,
who?
Lawrence Guitari.
Lauren?
Their microphone's off.
Can you hear us out there? Stanley?
Well, she's muted.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are, okay.
I'm really sorry. I just want to thank Jim for bringing up the issue with the tax district for the Northwoods Association. And I really do want to ask if we can push this some. We were hoping to start construction this coming winter, and it just seems like it's getting held up again.
Yeah, I either sent an email this afternoon or I'll send one tomorrow morning to the town attorney. And see if.
Okay, I really
she can-
appreciate it.
I
See,
think
she
we
can
were gonna have an
comment
answer
what's that.
tonight, but she couldn't make it, that's why we're gonna something.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just that Rose had called CT Mail and they had nothing, so we aren't sure what's happening at this point.
Was it CT Mail or Clough Harbor?
No, we were told CT Mail was getting the bid, or was gonna do the engineering work, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to Rose last week, she called me, I told him to be settled tonight, but unfortunately, our attorney couldn't come. So
Okay,
we have
that's
to-
fine. I just, again, wanted to put it out there. Thank you.
I'm on the case.
We got the bloodhound on it.
Thanks, Jim.
Stanley, can you hear us? I don't know if you can hear me.
And the man.
No, wait a minute. Nope, okay. They look like they
hands right there.
confused.
We can hear you.
You can, okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Yeah, we could hear you.
All right, yes. Can you come up here, please? Could you come right here, please? Thank you.
Pay for the metal detector that we already have. But the invoice hasn't been paid yet out of JCAP fund.
I think it's in this abstract.
It is in this
I
abstract.
think so.
I never heard it get mentioned.
Well, you're not gonna, you're just. That's general.
You don't mention everyone.
It's like completely different fund. It came out of JCAP fund. It was a grant given to us.
Okay, I don't know about a separate JCAP fund. I know that's a grant.
Yeah.
Can I see this?
Can you,
Cause I know. she
can you put them away?
Elaine questioned something about one of the invoices, I think.
There's about 60, 70 invoices.
Yeah, there's a ton in here.
Anybody else have anything to say?
You know who it was going to, Fred?
Oh, no.
Oh, we'll get you an answer in the morning.
Okay, that'll work for me.
All right, good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
We'll give it to Lori before she leaves, give her a headache.
Okay.
She can take it with her on her vacation.
Nothing else, board members? Nothing?
No.
out there?
Motion we adjourn.
We got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Second, roll adjourn. Thank you.
I